table to talk about disturbing claims from former Trump employees about his time in office and what it could mean for the 2024 presidential race. Then, Oscar winner Ariana DeBose talks about lending her voice to Disney's Wish and shares the surprising aftermath of her Oscar wish coming true. Here come Hot Topics with Whoopi, Sarah Haynes, Anna Navarro, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin,
to the View.
Okay, so Whoopi,
Yes?
so I wasn't here yesterday for your birthday,
Right.
you know, and I
You
have,
did weep that you were not here.
well, I think you were weeping for what's under there.
That too. Can I?
Yes, you can. Oh, pick it up. Okay, you just have to heat. You have to defrost and heat it.
Defrost and heat.
Defrost and heat down overnight and defrost it, and then you can put it in the micro.
She could bring it in here, back in here.
Yeah.
Share with the other.
Well, I knew that this would provoke. I knew this would provoke some jealousy amongst the bitches over here. But
I know you have to earn your lasagna. I've only been here for 6 years.
7 for me, and I didn't get one, and it was just last month.
well, you know, this is yesterday. I was home.
Yeah.
Looking for. I had made 3 of them about 2 weeks ago,
Right.
and I ate one.
Right.
Me and my husband. I gave one to somebody else.
Right.
And I saved one. Somebody. I'll tell you later. I saved one for you. It was in the freezer. I go to look. It was not anywhere to be found. There was a missing lasagna somewhere.
Where is the stolen
It's
lasagna?
like I feel like putting out an APB for it and find the lasagna. But anyway, so I had to whip that up yesterday.
Wow.
Ooh, so it's fresh.
I'm loving it.
And
I'm
frozen
loving it.
Anyway,
No,
happy
remember
birthday.
when Steve ate it and
Raw?
Yeah, they ate it and they said this one's not as good, and you're like, because you cook it first. I love that one.
Anyway, enjoy it.
I will. I don't know the last time my birthday was on a Monday.
Yeah.
So
my birthday was on a Friday this year. You weren't there.
And I
That's
wasn't
right.
here.
But
Yeah,
we
it's
make
been
up
hard
for
days, but I'm telling you, unless somebody try to touch this.
it. Your kids always eat it.
Yeah, everybody, the family always gets it, and they did you get the lasagna? I said, well, Joy wasn't in today. They're like, oh, but you know what's going to happen if you try to touch it. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to keep it right here.
Okay.
On a less appetizing topic, you know. In footage obtained by ABC News, one of you-know-who's former lawyers, Jenna Ellis, shared a conversation she had with a senior White House official about how you-know-who had planned to stay put after he lost in 2020. No, y'all knew this. Don't act like you didn't know this was the plan, but here's the clip.
I emphasized to him I thought that the claims and the ability to challenge the election results was essentially over. And he said to me in a kind of excited tone, well, we don't care and we're not going to leave. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, the boss, meaning President Trump, and everyone understood the boss, that's what we all called him. He said the boss is not going to leave under any circumstances. We are just going to stay in power. And I said to him, well, it doesn't quite work that way, you realize. And he said, we don't care.
So here's what I want to know. How is ignoring the results of a free and fair election that we have had in this country for over 200 years, how does that make America great again exactly?
Yeah.
How does that work?
It doesn't. And I think what's so despicable for me is that when you become a lawyer, especially a lawyer in Georgia, but all over the country, you take an oath, much like a medical oath. And that oath says that you will act honestly and you will act truly, honestly, justly, and uprightly according to the law, and you will support the Constitution of the state and of the United States of America. So help me God. That's what you say. And you have Jenna Ellis seemingly just saying, well, he was called the boss and he said he was going to stay, as if she had no part in it. Well, she had a part in it too, and her part was that she pled guilty to aiding and abetting false statements and writings. There were 4 lawyers that pled guilty, and I'm disgusted by that, because they should have been his advisors, and they should have said right away, we don't want any part of this, because that is not how you make America great again. That's how you destroy a democracy. They didn't say any of that.
Jenna Ellis was also continuing to lie about the election until this indictment came down and she decided to take a plea deal. And listen, I'm glad it's happening, because it means I think she's going to prove to be a very important witness
It's going to
against
seem like
Trump.
a canary.
But what is wild about this clip is the language models something nearly identical to what then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows said to me on December 3rd of 2020. I'd gone into his office to say that I was going to resign. I didn't agree with what we were saying about the election results and the election being stolen. And he said, wait, what if I could tell you that we're not leaving office? I shared that with federal investigators. I shared that with the January 6th committee. This proves what she's saying, that the upper tier of the White House was actually trying to unlawfully and unconstitutionally hold on to power. I think Georgia has has Donald Trump in a really tight spot. That's the hardest one, I think, for him to get out of.
It is.
But here's what I would say is this, is we don't even need to think about just what he did last time around. The agenda he's talking about for 2024 is scary enough already. He's talking about rounding up millions of people, putting them in camps. He's talking about carrying out revenge on 4-star generals. Like, it's time
Getting
to wake
rid of
up.
media.
And I implore Tim Scott and Mike Pence, my friends, men I think highly of, you need to endorse somebody other than Donald Trump, because the window is closing this
He
up.
also, I would also like to point out before we go to break, he threatened on a Veterans Day speech this past weekend, Trump threatened to, quote, root out the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country. That is, when you start talking about people as a vermin, that means that you have dehumanized them. And the next step is extermination. That is extermination talk.
It's fascist talk.
It's
Let's call it for what it is.
I mean, I'm not going to invoke, but this is what the Biden's campaign said. On a weekend when most Americans were honoring our nation's heroes, Donald Trump parroted the autocratic language of Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay? It is not, what's the word I'm looking for? Hyperbole.
No.
To say that he is on the same track as all fascist dictators. He loves Viktor Orban in Hungary. He loves Kim Jong-un in North Korea. He is a lover of dictators, and that's what he will be.
And doesn't he want to get rid of term
And why do people still vote for him? I question myself. Every day I ask myself the question, it's about racism and taxes?
Yes.
And in the Republican Congress, it's about retaining power and being in their jobs, and that's all they are about.
I think what you're
And we must do something about it now. I hate to be like a Cassandra, the sky is falling, or whatever it is, a mixed metaphor there.
Well, everyone was told in 2016 repeatedly not to take Donald Trump literally, and I think we've learned.
He says the
Everyone should join
well.
and go ahead and say he's not only saying it literally, he's telling you exactly what he'll do. And the White House spokesman, Andrew Bates, said in a statement about a reference to vermin. Using terms like that about dissent would be unrecognizable to our founders, but horrifyingly recognizable to American veterans who put on their country's uniform in the 1940s.
That's right. My father, my uncles fought against fascism. They were against the Nazis. And now we have these people in this country who want that, and he's encouraging it.
And deniers, people who say that the war never happened.
Oh, and by
Everything
the way,
never happened.
he also, Trump, I have a clip to show of him saying out loud, watch this clip for a second.
Like tens of millions of people within our nation, I'm proud and strong. I'm a very proud election denier.
Oh, he's a very proud election denier.
That contradicts itself. Like, I don't even think he knows what he's saying.
We know what he's saying. And so, listen, if that's what you want, if that's the country you want, that's your man.
That's right.
If that's not the country you want, then get your behinds out and make sure he doesn't get back.
That's right.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has stirred up a fair amount of controversy since he started his campaign. And the latest is a photo of him taking taken on a recent commercial flight where apparently he's walking around barefoot. He even, they say, went to the restroom without socks on or shoes on. Now, we can't show the photo, but you
can go look it up.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Apparently.
It's on Professor
But you
Google.
can't
see it. And for a man who's so concerned with what he puts into his body, he's going to need a tetanus shot after that.
I mean, exactly what I thought. Disgusting. You know, I used to think it was folklore that you could actually get infections in your feet.
Oh,
'cause
no.
my,
Oh, no, you can't.
my father grew up down south, and so he would always say when my kids would want to walk out into the grass without their shoes, "Oh no, don't do that because you could get an infection in your foot." And I was like, "Dad,
In the
that's
grass,
like,
really?
Like even in the grass." And I was like, "That's some southern stuff." And I asked my doctor husband. He was like, "Oh no, that's true. Any tiny cut on the
Tiny
bottom of
little
your
cut
foot
anywhere
can
on
lead
your
to
foot.
staph infections, can lead to all sorts of terrible infections."
In the bathroom, it
Do
could
you
be
know what's in that
heavy.
bathroom?
Well, and no one has to see your
You know what's not in that bathroom? Me.
Yes.
The question really is, how important is he as a third-party candidate? Will he hurt Biden or will he hurt Trump?
Seems to be hurting Trump.
My initial fear was, well, I think it could pull either ways. I think the Kennedy name, for people who don't pay close attention, might think he'll pull from the Democratic side, but he taps into kind of the anti-vax sentiment on the far right.
And now the dirty, dirty people.
But I do have to say this real quick on a lighter note. A friend of mine was working out in a gym and ran into RFK there. He works out in jeans. That might be even weirder
does that?
than walking barefoot into a public restroom.
He works out in jeans. What kind of workout?
That's a serial killer move right there.
What kind of exercise can you do in Denver?
I don't know.
You can't do any exercise.
He
up
left
there.
me in shoes on. So many
No,
questions.
no, you can. I've done that.
How about the sweating in the privates?
No, you change your clothes when you get home.
No, you
Because you go, say, listen, sometimes you don't have time to stop when everybody else is in their shorts and everything. And you go and you get some exercise in when you can.
worked out in your jeans
I
in the
have
gym
worked
in
out in my
public.
I
People
have.
witness this.
Yes, people have witnessed it.
What's the big deal?
I don't know. Apparently it's a freaky thing to some people.
And by the way, we should mention that he is a declared independent candidate, but he has been denounced by pretty much every prominent member of his family. All the Kennedy family has come out and they've denounced the anti-vax rhetoric that he's pushed, the
shoeless
divisive, the shoeless flying.
He's more of a threat to the Republicans, in my opinion, because he's an anti-vaxxer.
But there is a left-wing
He says he's
element
not,
of
but he is.
anti-vax.
But aren't
That's
there
the
a lot of
both
people on
extremes.
the right wing that
My impression when we went
They're
through all of the
anti-vaxxers?
pandemic and everything was it was coming from the right.
Well, and he's being propped
Yeah.
up by
The
some extreme
anti-vax,
figures
but
on
people,
That's true.
Yeah.
But it exists on the left too. There is some
not as,
fringe
not, I
left.
don't think, I think it's not as many.
sorry. Yeah.
Legal note.
I'm sorry, I have a legal note. RFK Jr. has denied ever making racist or anti-Semitic comments.
Who said he
He
did?
also denies that he is anti-vax.
But what about the shoes?
no.
He didn't deny that.
He spoke earlier this month at the country's largest anti-vaccine organization that has been identified as one of the main sources of misinformation on vaccines. You can say you're not anti-vax, then don't speak at anti-vax
That's true.
organizations.
But there's something much better to talk about. It's called the Lady Bird Diaries. It's a new documentary from ABC News Studios that shares an intimate portrait of Lady Bird Johnson and features actual audio recordings of the former First Lady and wife of President Lyndon Johnson. It's now streaming on Hulu. I'm telling you, it's great. It's based on the books, and she was a little spitfire. She was a force of nature, man.
Didn't she fix up the garden at the White House and then Melania destroyed it, made it look like a cemetery?
But you know what she also did? She said, I'm tired of looking at these ugly highways and byways, Lyndon.
Yeah. He said, Bird.
And he said,
Whatever
Bird,
you want,
what would you like? And she said, well, I would like flowers here and here and here and everywhere. And that's what we got. And that's was the beginning of the beautifying of America that folks have sort of forgotten about when people picked up their garbage off the highways. Remember those days when you didn't have to see 50,000 pounds of garbage on the freeway? Yeah. Bird did that. We'll be right back. News chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Call, yay, has written another new book that should be required reading for everybody who votes, so they never forget how we got into the mess we're in. U.S. politics is still trying to dig its way out of all of this. Please welcome back author of Tired of Winning, You Know Who, and The End Game. You know, the grand old party, our pal, Jonathan Carl.
I feel like that was an homage a little bit.
I love when you come because I don't feel as dumb as I feel oftentimes when I listen to other people try to explain what is happening. Because this is like it's like a crazy party.
Yeah.
You know you got your clothes on and you're pretty sure everybody else is naked, but they won't turn the lights on. It's like, what's happening?
Well, and Jonathan, you know we all love having you here because you really break it down.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about, but I want to start right off with the Republican debate last week. You actually called it the Twilight Zone debate. Explain.
Well, it was the Twilight Zone because it was like we were in another dimension, if you remember the Twilight Zone. A dimension where they had candidates on the stage, Republicans debating different policy differences, attacking each other over little things that they did or didn't do, and almost no mention of you-know-who. Almost no mention of Donald Trump, and no acknowledgement of the fact that none of them have a chance unless they can take him down. And yet it was like...
Yeah, but Chris Christie takes him down, and he doesn't have a chance either. So I think it's a losing game against the guy.
Well, I'm not convinced it's over. I'm not convinced I think the Republican primary still has a ways to go. And I think that Trump is a lot more volatile than people realize. One of the reasons why I wrote this book is that there has been very little attention paid to what the guy is actually talking about now. That's starting to change, like in the last week or two. But what he stands for and what a second Trump term would look like.
Well, John, the book Tired of Winning is fabulous. I finished it this weekend. It's so important right now. You start the book in Waco, Texas, where that's where Donald Trump decided to relaunch his 2024 campaign. You kind of draw a parallel with the choice of that. Tell us about it.
Well, it's a highly symbolic place because, as you remember, back in 1993, the Branch Davidians, a cult, had a compound called Mount Carmel in Waco. And the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco and Firearms thought they were stockpiling weapons, which they were, and they had a siege that went on for 51 days. It culminated on April 19th, 1993, with an inferno and more than 80 people dying. It became the symbol for a lot of people, particularly on the right, of a government that was out of control, a government that was out to get its own citizens. And it inspired a right-wing militia movement, and including a guy named Timothy McVeigh, who 2 years later, to the day, bombed the federal building in Oklahoma City, killing 168 people. So here, Donald Trump goes back to Waco. And when I asked Steve Bannon, his former chief strategist, and maybe
who he still talks
most
to all the
important outside advisor right now, Waco, what were you doing? He said, we are the Trump Davidians.
Oh my God. He also says that Trump is a moderate. He said that in a recent interview. What is he, just making stuff up as he goes along?
Well, what he said is that, if once he's gone, you will see he's a moderate. And I think what he's saying is that the movement that he has inspired is more extreme than he is.
That may be true. But how many are there? There are more of us.
Look, there's a very solid base of support for him, but it is a minority, even within the Republican Party. You have the people, the hardcore that are with him, and then you have those who think, well, I don't like Biden, and, I want to go back to where we were 4 years ago. But the hardcore, the shoot 'em on Fifth Avenue people, that's, a minority of the Republican Party, but it's driving the train right now.
I agree with Alyssa. This book is fantastic. It's right on time. I love the title, Tired of Winning, because he's such a loser. But, in my opinion, a lot of people who work for Trump have come out after the fact and have told the honest truth about what kind of person they say he is. Alyssa is one of them, and how unfit they say he is to run this country. But you spoke to a very high-level official, a very serious person, and this person did not mince words. I was stunned. Can you tell us about that person's assessment of Trump?
So first, let me explain. This is somebody who spent more than a year in the West Wing in a very senior position, had close interactions with Trump virtually every day, so saw him up close, served him as not one of the people that has come out publicly to criticize him, has stayed out of politics since he left the White House. And this is what I reached out to him after the indictment on the classified documents to ask his reaction. He told me that he was so furious, he went to his computer and he wrote a note to himself. I said, what was the note? And he read it to me. And this is it in part. Speaking of Trump, he lacks any shred of human decency, humility, or caring. He is a traitor and a malignancy in our nation and represents a clear and present danger to our democracy and rule of law. This is not a Democrat. This is not a so-called never-Trumper that's going out to campaign against him. This is somebody who works at a very high-level position in the White House.
So his sisters, who passed away, has said something very similar, and so did his niece, Mary Trump.
Yeah.
They know him better than anybody.
Well, this is a fundamental truth that the most searing, piercing criticism of him has largely come from people who are closest.
We don't know. You won't name the person.
I can't name the person.
Okay. Here's my question. Since Trump lost to President Biden in 2020, he has never stopped lying about the stolen election. We showed a clip of him saying, "I'm an election denier," and you have reported that his efforts to overturn the election didn't stop on January 6th. So tell us about that.
Yeah. This was really astounding. After he left the White House, there were, I don't know if you guys had heard this, but there were some crazy things out there. QAnon, Mike Lindell, the Mind Pillow guy. At one point said, Donald Trump's going to come back. He's going to go back to the White House. Biden's going to be removed on August 13th, 2021. It was very specific. August 13th came and went. He said, it's going to be in September. Oh, no, it's going to be after Thanksgiving. But nobody paid any attention because this is out there outlandish. But what I found out is Trump was obsessed with this and seemed to think it was true. He was talking about it constantly to the people around him. I spoke to one person at Mar-a-Lago who said that they begged him to stop talking about it because people would think he's crazy. He's like, if you really think it's true...
no, that ship sailed.
But I found out that he actually demanded of one of his most loyal Republican allies in the House, Mo Brooks, the guy that wore body armor on January 6th. He demanded that he come out and publicly call for this. And Mo Brooks looked at him and said, body armor Mo Brooks said, that's not constitutional. And then he cut him off.
It's
his endorsement.
He told us as soon as he got in, that he wanted to be president for life. He made that very clear.
Yeah.
He never denied that was what he was going to say.
Never acknowledged he lost, and never.
No, and he will never say he lost. But you know what? We know that you did, and that's all we needed to hear.
Yeah.
Jonathan Carl, our thanks again always to you. The new book is called Tired of Winning, and you know what, you guys, you are all going home with a copy of the book. Okay, you're going home. I'm telling you, you will not be unhappy that you read it. We'll be right back. Has a question.
Well, Ariana, we get to hear you sing in the new movie. We played a clip when you came out. Your voice is stunning, and you got to perform a song written by the Grammy-winning artist Julia Michaels. You said you were intimidated about that. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, she is one of the great songwriters of our generation, in my opinion, and it's a deceptively hard song to sing. I know, I look ridiculous, but I had so much fun.
Love it.
But I really wanted to put my best foot forward. I'm also a vocalist with a lot of anxiety, and that's something that I work on. I take lessons. I had one last night. The work never stops, but I really wanted to bring the best to it. It's a beautiful song. There are 7 original songs in this film, and my character, she is brown with beautiful braids and freckles, and she deserved everything I had to give to her.
And the kingdom is very
inclusive. Like, truly, it's modeled after what equity could truly look like, and I appreciate that because I think young people seeing that now is great. Start early, guys. Start early.
You come to this table anytime.
Thank you.
Ariana DeBose, Wish is in theaters on Wednesday, November 22nd, and to help celebrate the film, members of the audience are going home with the Star Plush. The new product collection inspired by Disney's Wish film is now available at Shop Disney. And to add extra magic to the collection, Disney is supporting Make-A-Wish to help grant wishes for children with critical illnesses. To learn more, visit shopdisney.com/wish. And we will be right back.
with a family switch and rumors that The Office is getting back to work. Plus, former NCIS star Mark Harmon on his latest case investigating the ghosts of Honolulu.
Hey, it's American Education Week, and an ABC News initiative is looking at the many issues that the American classroom faces right now. We will be asking Education Secretary Miguel Cardona about it when he joins us live on Friday.
Yes.
So, that's the end of the show. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. We want everyone to have a great day. Take a little time to enjoy the view, and we'll see you tomorrow. Has a question.
Well, Ariana, we get to hear you sing in the new movie. We played a clip when you came out. Your voice is stunning, and you got to perform a song written by the Grammy-winning artist Julia Michaels. You said you're intimidated about that. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, she is one of the great songwriters of our generation, in my opinion, and it's a deceptively hard song to sing. I know, I look ridiculous, but I had so much fun.
I love it.
But I really wanted to put my best foot forward. I'm also a vocalist with a lot of anxiety, and that's something that I work on. I take lessons. I had one last night. The work never stops, but I really wanted to bring the best to it. It's a beautiful song. There are 7 original songs in this film, and my character, she is brown with beautiful braids and freckles, and she deserves everything I had to give to her.
And the kingdom is very
inclusive. Like, truly, it's modeled after what like equity could truly look like, and I appreciate that because I think young people seeing that now is great. Like, start early, guys. Start early.
You come to this table anytime.
Thank you.
Ariana DeBose Wish is in theaters on Wednesday, November 22nd, and to help celebrate the film, members of the audience are going home with the Star Plush. The new product collection inspired by Disney's Wish film is now available at Shop Disney. And to add extra magic to the collection, Disney is supporting Make-A-Wish to help grant wishes for children with critical illnesses. To learn more, visit shopdisney.com/wish. And we will be right back.
Tomorrow, Ed Helms is live to talk about ringing in the holidays with a family switch and rumors that The Office is getting back to work. Plus, former NCIS star Mark Harmon on his latest case investigating the ghosts of Honolulu.
Hey, it's American Education Week, and an ABC News initiative is looking at the many issues that the American classroom faces right now. We will be asking Education Secretary Miguel Cardona about it when he joins us live on Friday.
Yes.
So, that's the end of the show. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. We want everyone to have a great day. Take a little time to enjoy the view, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Among the constellations will whisper, never next sea home. A celestial light circle and bright. In this cosmic love, our souls take flight. sublime. In this cosmic elixir of a climb, to be the source that ever fun, and being lovers call love's perfect. As the cosmic current gently falls.
Phước đường dài